This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Hello, everybody. You are here with Linda Hall and Rita Reimers with 19 Cats and Counting. So you know, where behaviors are focused, but anything cat-related, we're all about it. And we have been getting these newsletters from Kristen Levine, and she is so much like us. If it is related to cats, she is all over it. And I just fell in love with her, and we had to reach out, and she said yes!
Yay!
So we are going to focus today on discussing assimilating new cats into your home. You do not want to miss this. Stay tuned. We'll be back right after this word from our sponsor.
Does your pet's breath leave a bit or a lot to be desired? You can give your pet the gift of sweeter breath, and you'll get sweeter kisses with Probiora Pet. That breath is the result of harmful bacteria which lives in your pet's mouth, and that harmful bacteria can lead to serious health problems. The solution is to crowd out that bad bacteria with positive bacteria. All it takes is 1 scoop a day of Probiora Pet mixed into their food to replenish the good bacteria. That's it. This all-natural, no-taste, no-odor powder is the only dental care probiotic for pets which delivers beneficial bacteria which supports tooth and gum health and crowds out the bad. A healthy body starts with a healthy mouth, and Probiora Pet is the best way to give your pet a healthy mouth. And our listeners get a 10% discount using PLR10 at checkout. To purchase, go to probiorahealth.com. That's probiorahealth.com and use code PLR10 at checkout for 10% off.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back to 19 Cats and Counting. I am your co-host, Linda Hall, here with the ever-lovely Rita Reimers.
Oh, you're too kind. And those of you who are keeping score, I'm still at 19.
Yeah, 19 and counting.
And Mimi's doing very well assimilating in with all of my kitties, which is amazing. That's the topic we're talking about today.
Especially considering with a warning came with Mimi that she doesn't do well with other cats, and Rita had 18 other cats in the house.
Fine.
So we probably should have talked to Kristen before. No, we did okay.
She's a little hissy, but yeah.
She's a little hissy.
Thanks,
but,
Kristen,
many
for coming
many
along.
women are. Yeah.
I want to hear what I did right. I want to hear what I did wrong.
Oh my gosh. I am just so delighted to be here today. And I love this topic because like you said, you just brought Mimi into your home.
Yep.
And there's been so much change with our homes, whether it's staying home during the pandemic and the changes that, our cats experienced then, or when we go back to work, or all the millions of people that adopted cats and kittens during the pandemic. So there's just been a lot of environmental change for cats over the past couple of years now.
For sure.
Which cats hate. I mean, this is so,
Yeah, they don't like change.
We tell our clients all the time, it's like in a cat's perfect world, no one comes in, no one goes out. You do not get a new couch. You do not rearrange the furniture. I mean, it's not realistic, but change really freaks them out. So.
It does. They're creatures of habit, much like we are.
Right.
But they really like to have control over their environment. And I think that's something that every cat parent needs to know before they get their first cat. Because as you ladies know, just about every strange or bad or unhealthy behavior all ties back to it's a cat just being a cat, and you're screwing it up for them.
Yes, for sure.
We're not born with that knowledge, and we're not cats. So we just kind of have to figure it out and listen to great shows like this to learn more. And it can be really challenging. So did you want to talk about adopting a cat and bringing it into a new home, or just really any kind of transition for a cat into a new home?
I think any kind of transition, because I adopted one that Mimi, she was 15, she's diabetic. Her owner just couldn't take care of her anymore. He had too much going on in his household, and surrendering her to a shelter would have been certain death. So I brought her in.
Okay.
I was told she didn't get along with other cats. Well, she's fine with them. She has to set a boundary. she just hisses and, there's been no fighting. I'm lucky that was an easy transition. Linda had her transition that wasn't so easy. So what is the difference? What makes it easy versus
start
difficult?
Cats off in a small room. And that's,
what I did.
When Rita's saying it's easy, I'm thinking, because you didn't open the carrier and just plop the cat out in the living room and go, here's your new friend.
Right.
Enjoy.
Right. A lot of people do that.
Right.
That's why it was easy, because you knew what to do, which is what we're here to have Kristen tell us. And when I took my daughter's 4 in and my daughter, there was not 4 small rooms to separate these. It really was just
you brought
home.
them over kind of one at a time.
Right.
Yeah, we brought one and then we brought another, and then we decided we couldn't just bring the third and leave the fourth home alone in the apartment. So we brought the last 2, but it was a little hairy.
Yeah. Well, I kind of think there's a recipe for a positive transition that includes planning, patience, and creating a new routine that mimics what your cat is used to if you're transitioning the cat from one, residence to another. Whereas when you're adopting a new cat, you don't really know what their previous routine was. But the planning and preparation is really key. And it starts those first few minutes, and the first few days are really key. So I can learn as much from you ladies as I'm going to share today. So please jump in here.
No one knows everything. That's the thing. No one knows everything about cats, because just when you think you do, they will surprise you.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's true. Yes. It's true. Well, I'll tell you what I did. We recently sold our home and we moved to a new home. And one of the first things I did was I got Olivia's carrier out. Oh, hello. Who's that? Jumping behind us.
Yes, Karma. Karma just came out of nowhere and flew. Yeah, she was rescued from a feral colony, and I still can't just go up and love on her, and you won't catch her in my lap, but she sleeps close to me, and I can touch her if given the correct approach.
But this romping around is relative.
This playing stuff is new, but
she's been there for 4 years.
Good. Yeah.
Very cute. So anyway, the way I started Olivia out, and this is a great plan for anyone, is to have a carrier, a secure carrier, preferably one that your cat is familiar with, or one that you can make more comforting for them by spraying pheromone spray inside of. And you want to transport the kitty from wherever you're bringing them from to your new home in a carrier. It's the safest way to transport them. They're kind of, in a dark enclosed space, and hopefully the pheromones are kicking in and it kind of calms them a little bit. When you get to the new location, it's ideal that you have a particular room designated as like the transition room.
That's what I have. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's going to be different for everybody, depending on how much space you have, how many other cats you have. It could be, ideally, you want a room that's a little bit more quiet than, maybe away from the busiest part of the home. It could be maybe a spare bedroom or a spare bathroom that doesn't get a lot of use. Could be a laundry room, but you want to just be mindful about the washer and dryer,
Yeah, they can get behind there.
And they can get behind. Exactly.
Well, the noises are scary, and
Right. And before, I should say, part of that planning is setting that room up in advance before you bring the cat to that location. So you want to make sure there's a litter box. You want to make sure it's easily accessible. I would recommend no hood in the beginning, just to some cats don't like hooded litter boxes. And plus this is unless you're bringing them from their home that had a hooded litter box.
Right.
Making sure you have their food and their water available, making sure you have toys for them, making sure there's ideally a place for them to perch or kind of climb up and look down on things. And then once you get them to that environment, keep, kind of confining them to that one room for a period of, and this is where it's going to differ for, each cat. It could be a couple of days, it could be a week, maybe longer. I don't know. What's been your experience as far as how long the transition has taken?
Not a long time, because my cats have been through this a lot. And I have these greeter cats, Simba, Simon, and now Dexter, that like to come in and welcome the newbies. So Mimi was in I call it Nikki's room, because when
it's
Nikki
my daughter's bedroom
comes down
in South Carolina
to visit, she stays there. So I set up Nikki's room for Mimi, and she was closed in there alone. I would come up and sleep with her and, make sure but she seemed so bold. I opened the door after about 3 days, and I just let my other cats kind of wander in. Just those 3. The other ones permanently stay downstairs. They don't care. And all of a sudden one day, I think she was with me like day 5. I was getting the meals ready downstairs, because I feed the downstairs cats first. Everybody's all open though. And there she was in the kitchen wanting to eat with everyone.
Wow. That's great.
So
Just like snapping
it was
pictures.
not a problem at all. I've never had a transition problem. I'm very lucky. Linda, however, with the 4 and the 7, and of course some of our clients, some of our clients, they'll just bring another cat home and just plop it down and go, here you go. And, you two cats duke it out. And at some point they do, but.
And I think the other tricky thing can be too, if this home has a dog in it. So in my case, we had 2 dogs at the time. And so I was transitioning different species.
Yeah.
So Olivia, she probably stayed in the master bedroom probably for 3 or 4 days before she even wanted to explore the new upstairs. So I think it depends. And you've obviously got breeder cats, which is super helpful for the new cat.
She's had so much transition that, they're used to this. They're used to this meal.
Right.
Especially my Simon. He's just such a gentle kitty. And he just wants to make sure the new kitty's okay. And he usually makes the first move. He's just such a sweetheart.
He's a people greeter too. When I come to visit, he's the first one at the door. But I adopted a cat from North Carolina because it broke Rita's heart. And Rita didn't have room. She, I think, had 20 at the time. So she kept sending me pictures of this orange cat, just so beautiful, his little eyes. But he was rescued from a feral colony. He was not feral. He was either tossed out or escaped. But I mean, he was beat up. He was FIV positive. Nobody wanted him. So I took him. He stayed in our bedroom. We had a pretty big bedroom at the time, the master suite. Yeah. But he stayed in there forever, and I would open the door. Finally, he would go out and he would investigate the upstairs hallway. But I think he was so traumatized, and maybe I'm humanizing him, but I really think he was so traumatized by living outside and not knowing what to, he wanted that safe zone. So we were in the living room one day and I heard a noise and I look and he's on the landing. There's about 4 steps to where we are. And he just looks like he is having a complete nervous breakdown. He just looked, and he was like frozen. So I carried him back upstairs and now he's all over the house, but it took months and months and months.
I remember that.
I really think it depends on the cat and the cat's personality and what the cat's lived with. And we have a dog, but it's a Chihuahua. I'm pretty sure she thinks she's a cat. I really, She was sitting in the litter box one day and I took a picture and I'm like, I told you. This dog is very confused.
That is funny.
Yeah. So I have 11 or 12 cats, depending on whether or not you're counting Sadie.
Right,
and so she assimilates pretty well and doesn't really mess with it. She knows they're the boss. Some of them are bigger than she is, so it's all good. But But, funny. I think the personality of the cat. But then there's another thing to consider. So let's say I've adopted a kitten and I've got it in the bathroom. I've done everything that you said. My concern isn't so much the kitten. Kittens are always ready for anything. Let me out.
Sure.
I'm good.
Ready for action.
But now I've got my OG cats, the rulers of the house. So it's not really when is the kitten ready to come out, right? It's like, when are the OG cats ready for this?
Right. When are they ready for the new kitten?
I did that when I brought Simba home. A friend of mine found Simba and said, I just know this is your cat. I didn't need another cat, but he was so adorable and he's orange. I'm a sucker for orange cats. And the other cats, my adult cats, they loved him, but he had so much energy. He was really running them ragged. So the only time ever I went looking for a cat, I went looking to adopt another kitten and I brought in Sweetie Pie. They're about 4 months apart and it was a perfect match made in heaven, and they run around and chase each other and took that pressure off the adult cat. So I really recommend to people, if you're going to adopt a kitten and you don't have another cat or kitten that same age, you really need to adopt kittens in pairs. Mm-hmm. What do you think about that, Kristen?
Yeah. No, I think that's great advice. I think it's great advice. And, I don't know, you ladies have to share with me how you've handled this, but typically when I'm, educating my audience about multi-cat homes, I say that it's really important that you provide separate resources for each cat. Now, that probably means a litter box for each cat or for... Well, maybe not in your case, but 20.
I have 15. That's pretty good.
Break the rules, yeah.
Well, I think particularly for when a newcomer's coming in, maybe that they have their own.
They get their own
initially until they start to feel comfortable with the pack or the tribe or what is that called? The pride.
Yes, the pride. Yes,
right.
Part of my club.
Yeah, and exactly. Mimi does. She has her own litter box, and the other cats don't use it. Although they could, they don't.
Yeah.
And she hasn't used the other ones yet either. So sorry, Nikki, you're going to have a litter box in your bedroom come next week. Or this week, actually.
I sleep on the couch when I come because I love being blanketed in all her cats. They all come.
I like the break.
Heaven. Yeah,
I'll bet you
she's
do.
like, I could straighten my legs out last night. It's amazing.
How many cats do you end up sleeping with when you do that, when you visit?
It really ranges 4, 5, 6. Yeah, easy.
That's awesome.
You know, somebody on the back of the couch. Yeah, we're in layers. There's somebody on the back of the couch and somebody on my hip. And
Sure.
That's the same with me.
Wonderful.
Whoever I go to sleep with, I usually don't wake up with the same ones. Maybe a couple of them.
Yeah, they come and go. Yeah,
you can take Sweetie Pie. She kept me awake all night last night. So
I love Sweetie Pie. I will take Sweetie Pie. Yes. So anyway. So how do people know when it's time to let the kitten out of the bag, so to speak, and introduce them to their grown up or home cats?
Yeah, they're homies. Well, I think that you need to let the cat or kitten kind of lead the way, like, you know, tell you when they're ready. Like you were just mentioning, Rita, a minute ago. Actually, I forget, Linda, maybe you mentioned it, but when you open the door and, you know, the cat wasn't ready to come out yet, but the door is open. Right. So they're free to, you know, venture out on their own. So not forcing the new socialization on them is really important. And I think also the other thing I think is important to establish early on is their routine. So if you feed your other cats at a certain time, well, I'm sure you do, you know, certain times a day that you're feeding the new cat at those times, so that it starts to get used to the routine of the overall household. But don't force them to leave the room until you know that they're ready.
Oh, let me tell you about.
Don't force them, and maybe even introducing them, not necessarily to all the other family members, 2- and 4-legged, right away, but, you know, kind of slowly getting them acclimated to each other creature in the house.
See, Mimi decided when to come downstairs and meet the whole gang. Because up here, Scooter lives upstairs too. I got to tell you about Scooter. He's one of the 15-year-olds I adopted last year, the brother, sister. And I have a great room. I started the 2 of them off in my great room.
Okay.
So then when we got to the point where the door was open, one day he just decided, I'm moving into Rita's office. He came into my office. He set up camp. That was it. He's like, nope, I don't want the great room. I want your office. So he's down here. He lives in my office. He could come downstairs. He doesn't like it. He's fine with all the other cats coming in to see him. Really, only about 5 or 6 of them come to visit him. Some of them don't know he exists. Mimi or his sister Missy, she's a downstairs cat. She decided I live downstairs, so they don't even live together really.
Well, I'm curious to know what's his favorite spot in your room there?
Right in front of my desk, and kind of between my desk and there's a corner chair over there. I've put down blankets. I've put down cat beds. I've put down rugs. No. He wants to lay on the floor without a blanket. Well, there's a carpet in this room, but he won't sleep in a comfy bed. And in the back room, he had a comfy bed and a sofa. And no, we don't want that.
Well, it's kind of like, you know, when we buy those expensive cat toys and then all they really want to play with is the cardboard box.
I know,
the Amazon box at the door, by the door. Yeah, your cat will, not only will they tell you when they're ready to come out and explore the rest of the home, but they'll tell you where their favorite spot's going to be.
Yeah, he sure did. It's in the...
And she tried to reroute him. She's like, this is not look comfortable. Here's a cat bed. Here's a towel. Here's a blanket. Look, this is fluffy.
Right.
He said, when I alone.
I bring him home from the vet. I open I always read some downstairs. And I'm like, just stay downstairs. And it's really well. No, he's upstairs. Gone. Bye. On that happy note, we have to take a break. Pause for the cause. And we'll be right back after this message from our awesome sponsor.
Hey, it's Linda and Rita from 19 Cats and Counting. Rita, what are you doing today?
Linda, I have so many chores to do. I just don't like doing them.
Like paying bills? I understand that.
And matching those socks from the dryer.
Yes, there's always missing socks.
I just don't know where they go.
Me either. And don't forget to add scooping litter to that list. How many boxes do you have?
For my 19 cats, I have 15 litter boxes. And look, you know, everybody loves their little fur ball.
But it's the smell, the scooping, the scraping of stuck-on mess. What's the answer?
Arm & Hammer slide litter. The litter that slides right out. It leaves nothing behind. You may not love cleaning the litter box, but now you can just slide out the funk.
Arm & Hammer slide litter. More power to you.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
back on 19 Cats and Counting with Kristen Levine, and we're talking about how to assimilate a new cat into your home and what is the pace, what are the rules? There really aren't. You have to take it on a case-by-case basis is what we were saying, right, Kristen?
Right. And like we were talking about earlier, cats like to be in control of their environment. So give them that control slowly. And like you said earlier, they will find their favorite spot, their favorite room. They'll know where they don't like to be, where they like to be. It's really up to them within reason, obviously. But I think the other thing that's important to recognize when you're introducing your new cat, let's say you're a week into it, things seem to be going fine, but you really need to be paying attention to their behavior because you want to be sure to recognize any signs of anxiety that, could ultimately become problematic. And it's kind of tricky with cats because sometimes there are signs that your cat is anxious is just something that we think of that cats do, like hiding under the bed.
Hide away, right.
Right. You wouldn't necessarily think, oh, there's a problem. My cat's hiding under the bed. You would think, oh, there's my cat hiding under the bed. But, it could be excessive grooming. It could be dilated pupils. It could be that they are in hiding and just don't want to come out. And those are all signs that, kitty might need a little special attention, like either the pheromones we talked about earlier that mimic the hormones that a mother cat emits when she's nursing. It could also potentially mean that there's a health issue that you should talk to your veterinarian about. So just in those early days and even weeks, especially when you have a multi-cat or multi-pet home, to be watching for any of those signs of anxiety, besides the obvious, kind of just adjustment anxiety.
And you have to really take it cat by cat because Mimi, she's diabetic. I noticed almost right away her insulin dose is too low. She's still peeing a lot. But the other thing is she's got cataracts. So I can't look at her eye dilation to gauge her mood. I've got to look at other things.
Interesting.
Ears, tails. I've taught my kid. I have a 16-year-old son at home too, and I've taught him, especially when approaching Karma, who was previously feral and is still not really a house cat, may never be. We're fine with that. When he goes to approach her and he starts getting pets, and I'll say, "Watch her. What are her ears doing? Okay, watch her. Oh, she's licking her lips. Back off." So I've had to teach the family the signs, and I think that education is so important. So I've just loved all your newsletters because people need to understand the cat brain and how cats work and how cats communicate in order to have a good relationship, especially if you were raised with dogs, as Rita and I both were. We both had a parent who was allergic to cats. So our first cat was like a whole new ball game. And we see a lot of dog parents who expect their cats to be this different looking dog, and it's
we had a couple recently, and the husband was disciplining the cat the way you would the old way you discipline a dog. Like you don't even do that anymore. Rolled up newspaper, put the cat's
poo and yelled at
all
it.
that.
Yeah, we were like, no.
Oh my gosh!
As soon as we said no, the wife looked at him and went, "See,
that look." So this is what he's been doing. What do you think of this? Like, I'm ready.
Oh my gosh! Sounds like they need some marriage counseling too.
We've seen a lot of that.
We've seen a lot of that.
We're bringing a psychologist on board with us soon, RJ. And we're hoping she can help with some of that because we're more concerned about the cat. Of course, we want the couple to do well as well. But I think RJ can add a new dimension to helping save. I know we've saved at least one marriage.
Yes. They had been sleeping in separate beds for 8 months. One slept in the guest room with one cat and one in the bedroom with the other cat.
Oh my gosh.
So when we did a follow-up and he said something like, and both the cats are sleeping in the bed with us. And we're like, wait, what'd you say? Stay in the bed with us? Okay. So, and
That's too funny.
You see, when people are coming together, say girl and guy are dating, they decide to move in together. She's got a cat. He's got a cat.
You see that a lot.
Yeah.
It gets ugly. It's so reminiscent of step parents coming together and blaming their families.
I'm sure that one couple's not together anymore.
I would bank on that. But
they went to Jackson Galaxy first, then they came to us, and then they did what we either. So she fired us, and they've got another one, and then the boyfriend was emailing us behind her back because he was all upset. So
they were scared. You've got this cat, and it's your baby, and you love it, and you lived alone with just your baby, and you bring it in, and now her cat's hissing at my cat, or, his cat scratched my cat. And now I'm all up in arms because that's my baby.
Right.
Oh
my gosh. I hadn't thought about that whole family dynamic that that you're dealing with. It's not just about the cats.
It gets ugly
people.
sometimes. Yes.
A lot of times, by the time they get to us, one of the couple is like had it, and the cat's almost out the door.
Usually by the time they reach out, they've had it. I don't know how many requests we've gotten that end with, we're considering euthanizing this cat. And it's like, just wait. And, I wish everybody would come sooner. Like when you see the problems, come get some help before you're ready to go to divorce court or whatever.
Right.
Split your assets. So yeah, it's ugly, but there is a point. So the problem with this couple was, they were just too scared. Look, this is my baby. I'm not just going to set him on the floor and let your baby be near him. I'm just not going to do it because he's going to kill him. Right. So, but sometimes you just have to let the cats work some things out. Right.
We didn't see anything deadly. They just needed to let go and stop hovering, but that wasn't going to happen. In this case, we can only do so much. But see, cat introductions really kind of affect everything about someone's life if they're not done right.
Absolutely, 100%. It just changes the whole dynamic for everybody involved, really.
Exactly. It's another family member.
More often than not, it probably goes well, or maybe a little bumpy in the beginning, but it smooths out. But I'm curious to know, one of the things I was going to point out in the advice is making sure that you're providing for all of your cat's natural needs. Obviously their food and water and their litter box, but also giving them ways that they can play hunt when you're not there, and also spending time with them. The one-on-one time as well as their alone time, so that you're building their confidence when they're alone in this new environment, so that they, feel more comfortable. So usually I recommend, just enrichment type of toys or puzzle games or not puzzle games, but puzzle feeders.
Mm-hmm. Love those.
What kind of tools do you ladies like to?
I've got a couple.
What's that new one you got, Linda?
I bought another one that I don't like as much. So I bought this ball-shaped thing. It's kind of more football-shaped that charges a USB port. Love that. No batteries.
Ooh, cool.
And it'll shut itself off after 30 seconds if nobody touches it. But if they hit it, it starts, doing the wobble-woo all over the room, and they chase it. That has been wonderful because I have a brat cat, Deadpool. He's my son-in-law's cat. He named him Deadpool, which caused this, I think, look, people, if you don't want a bratty cat, name him Sweetheart or something. Really, I think this matters.
I don't know. My sweetie pie can be a brat. So
I don't know. But so he needs constant stimulation to keep him from wreaking havoc. So a lot of those things that he can do with himself, it's not enough to have 2 play sessions a day. He's got to have something going all the time. I also really like, if you go to YouTube and it's Relaxed by Cat, they have calming music, but it's also got bird feeders and aquariums. Yeah. So it's really cool for the cats to watch and have their attention on that and be visually stimulated. We tell people all the time, window perches, put a bird feeder outside that window,
Things for them to watch.
Because that cat's mind's going 24/7. Well, when he's not sleeping, and you just cannot devote all that time to keeping that cat occupied.
He's a devil. He can get outside if he works hard enough.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
He tried to escape out the chimney. We still don't know because there's a closure on the thing. Swear to you. I called Rita and told her, and she's like, well, there's one I haven't heard. You got me.
Oh.
We heard him crying. We couldn't find him. I don't know how he got the flue open. I don't know how he got the doors open, but he was stuck in the chimney.
Oh my gosh.
So awful.
That's crazy.
He's a sweet, cuddly thing, but
A couple of other things that are good to keep your cat busy. I have one of those cat fountains, and we keep it in the bathroom, and Olivia loves it. Not only will she go there to drink, and they say that cats will drink more from a fountain than they will from a standing bowl of water. Well,
they like running water.
But she loves it. She not only drinks from it, she plays in it. Like she'll go over to it and she'll put her paw under the trickling water, and then she'll use it to bathe herself. But she just loves her fountain. And so those are cool. Those are good. And
that's
then
great.
I think along the lines of what you were talking about a second ago, Linda, YouTube, I just set up my iPad and I Googled cat wildlife videos or something like that. And there's like an hour-long show of just birds and
nice.
lizards and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I just set that on the bed for Olivia to watch. And there's a brand new app called Zounds, spelled Zoundz.
Write that down, Linda. I don't have a pen.
Yeah.
I am writing
it down. My cat stole them all.
I'm keeping notes.
It's called Zounds Music for Pets, and they have playlists for dogs and cats. And when you click on cats, there's specific playlists for different types of, environment. Home alone, playtime, travel time if you're traveling with your cat. So check those out too.
Nice.
How nice. I will. Thank you. I appreciate
Definitely.
that. Because, we tell them about that and David Ty's
musicforcats.com.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. He's another one. He fascinated us. We had him on the podcast and he fascinated us with how he came up with this music. It was. I love when I have people like you that I'm reading your newsletter and I'm like, I love you. I want to talk to you. He's like, wait, I co-host a podcast. Let me give this a shot. And then you say yes, like, yay!
If you don't get Kristen Levine's newsletter, you need to subscribe. Aww. What's your website, Kristen?
Sure. It's KristenLevine.com. And Kristen is spelled KristenLevine.com. Or it's just easier if you remember Pet Living. If you just Google Pet Living, it comes up at the top.
Awesome.
So either way, and you can subscribe to the newsletter right there on the homepage. We send it out once a week and we have tons of dedicated cat content.
I love it.
Yes, about every area, which is what I love and what we try to do. Anytime we hear about something new for cats, a product, whatever, we're like, we got to check this out. We got to talk to these people. We got to, anything related to cats and their happiness. While behavior is our focus, anything works. That we're there. So yes, your newsletter is a wealth of information.
You can never read too much about cats if you're a cat owner. I hate to say owner. If you're owned by a cat,
right?
Yeah, that's better.
It's good to go to various resources for information because you get a full-rounded experience of, learning about what makes cats tick.
Sure. And you get different interpretations of their behavior from different points of view too. So we're always learning.
Yes. And stories and ideas. Beside my book knowledge for my certification, I learned a lot from Deadpool about, okay, we got to keep this cat occupied. What are we going to do? We're going to put this in place. We're going to visit. And that all, builds your little suitcase. And we're always learning new things.
And the pet sitting company I owned Just for Cats Pet Sitting for almost 17 years. And Linda was our executive director for about 4 years or so.
Yeah.
And we learned a lot about cats through that too.
I'll bet.
And cat parents.
The more exposure you have to other cats, and that works with your newsletter because this is information you've gathered about people and their cats and what comes up. And the more you can pack that in, the more you learn, the better prepared you are.
It's so true. And I love that I now know you ladies and can call on you for when I need behavior advice for my audience, because you just have to understand how a cat works in the head to be able to provide for them and to, keep them happy and satisfied. And
right.
And even then you get surprised. You can never know too much about a cat.
So true, I know. Yeah. There's always surprises that come along when you think you know. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. The two big ones that I've tried to push the clients is, one, people want to fix the cat, and you don't change cat. And so, I tell everybody, we domesticated dogs. We did not domesticated cats. People live together. Where there's people, there's food. Where there's food, there's rodents. The cat said, buffet. Yep. The cats dug in. The people appreciated it, and thus began our lives with cats. They chose us.
It doesn't hurt that they're so stinking cute either.
Well, that
right?
Too, yeah. You can't break a cat. You can't dominate a cat. They chose to be with us. And everything has to be their choice. And, it's just, you have to take that into consideration and how the cat views us. I tell people all the time, we see species, cat, dog, bird, fish. They see categories. Are you a predator that's going to eat me? Are you prey that I can eat? Or are you part of my social structure? And, and we're all even. I think my cats look at me the same as they look at the other cat. We're all just family. And so, you have to
Except you feed them. That's the difference. You feed.
Well, yes. I'm a provider. I'm the mama cat. But
food source.
Yes, exactly. But, I tell people when you're bringing in a new cat and it's hiding or whatever, it's got to figure out where, it's not just going to come out and go, hi, you might be a predator, eat me. It's just I need my time to lay back and figure you out, which is why you never reach under the bed where a cat is hiding or into their hiding space.
That's right.
It needs to feel safe to build up that trust and bond in you.
Yeah. You've got to earn the trust.
Yeah. Do I have time for a quick story?
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, Kristen, what would you tell somebody? What's one piece of advice would you give?
Well, I was just going to share this quick story about my little pandemic puppy that we adopted last in 2020, about midway through the pandemic, the quarantine, I should say. And she's a little rat terrier, Jack Russell, best we can guess. And she came in to the house where I had my 12-year-old dog, Chili, who kind of taught her the ropes. But when it came to Olivia, she wanted to always chase Olivia. And so I was very protective of Olivia. I kind of kept the puppy out of her area. But there were a few times when the puppy would slip through, and Olivia just popped her on the nose one day when she tried to dive under the bed after her. And I just love that cats are better at training dogs than I am.
Oh, yeah. Because she set the boundary. Yeah.
She did. I tried for weeks to keep, Tulip from chasing Olivia, but it just took a good swat on the nose from Olivia, and the dog was like, okay.
So do they have a relationship now?
Tulip is still just so intrigued by Olivia, but she knows that she doesn't really want to be her friend. Olivia just kind of looks down on her like, you're still here. So they have an understanding. They have an understanding.
In a relationship, they have an understanding. Yeah, we don't always love our siblings.
They know their places.
And that's okay.
You love your sibling. You just have to live with them.
And that's okay. We tell people, the goal is peaceful coexistence. If we get friendship, that's a bonus.
There you go. Oh, I love that. That's great.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a great way to look at it.
I expected to see them cuddling together, and we're like, no, we're not even shooting for that. That might happen. And we're really happy if it does. We just want a household that isn't in chaos. And
sometimes I don't see a newbie cuddling with another cat for a year or so, but it happens eventually. I'm trying to think. I don't think I have any cats that don't cuddle with someone. Even Smoochie cuddles with some of them. Smoochie's my 3-legged tripod, and she's really jealous of anyone who comes near me, especially since her brother passed away of cancer.
She's a breed of her own. She's just Smoochie.
Smoochie.
I've had her and her brother since they were 4 weeks old, so that's why. Again, another situation, the shelter called me. This cat, has a dangly leg. We have to put her down unless you come get her. Oh, and she has a brother too. I'm like, okay, gather them together.
Load them up.
That's a twofer.
Was that the one that they said, do you want to see him? And you're like, no, just stick him in the carrier. We're fine.
No, that was Picasso.
Oh, that was Picasso.
That was another one they called me about. The shelter called me about because she was really, really dry and neglected.
No.
And I went to get her, and I said, something told me, just asked, did she come in with another cat? Yeah, but he's really not friendly. I said, just put him in there. Do you want to meet him? No, just put him in there.
No, just put him in there. Taking him home. Doesn't matter what he looks like.
So how often do you change your phone number? Or do you?
We're very careful not to list. Like when she got this last cat, the people were like, we'll bring him to you. And she's like, no, I don't give out my address.
I did when I moved from LA to North Carolina, I did change my number because that gave me an excuse to get all of the California people to stop calling me.
That's a good idea.
But the thing is, the shelter here, my mom runs the Lancaster Humane Society. Society of Lancaster, South Carolina. So if they can't get me directly, in fact, the one day when they called about, I don't remember which one, I think it was Smoochie, I was in the car with my mom, and they called my mom and said,
they called your mom.
Would, and I'm like, oh no. So they can get to me. And then plus my vet, who's awesome, he does a lot of the veterinary work up at the shelter. So we all know a lot of the same people. So I'm gettable. There's no way to hide.
You're gettable.
No sense changing the number.
Try to hide as much as you can.
20 is my max, but like I mentioned earlier, Linda and I, we just met with a lawyer about a week or so ago, and we're going to start our 501c3. We're going to it's going to be an outreach to help people with spay, neuter, and vet bills, but mainly it's going to be a senior cat haven where
I love that.
Your cats can live forever. Wonderful. If we find them a home, we do. If we don't, it's going to take a while, some fundraising to be able to build the facility.
And some of these people might just need support. I mean, as cats age, their people are aging as well. And you find a lot of senior citizens with this ancient cat. And this lady is too sick to, or she's living on a limited income because she's getting Social Security or whatever.
Right.
And, now her cat needs insulin. Now her cat needs sub-Q. Now her cat needs more vet visits as seniors do. So it'd be nice to just say, let me help you with that, right? We can keep your cat with you.
And those aging changes happen so much more rapidly for our cats because they're aging so much faster than we are. So when they get to that age and, things do change pretty quickly, it accelerates and can be really stressful for the
Oh, yeah. I
cat
remember
mom.
running Just for Cats pet sitting, and not all of our pet sitters did sub-Q or insulin shots, and a cat would become diabetic, and they were like, I can't do it. We'd have to reassign, because there were some sitters that just did not want to learn to do shots. It's not hard. It's really not hard.
Yeah.
In fact, when Linda's here, we're going to record how to do a sub-Q, how to do a B12 shot, how to do an insulin shot, because I have all of those in my house. And how to give a pill. I've got that too.
Yes, I was thinking about that. We need to do pilling too.
Yeah, we can do it all.
Yes.
Come to my house. It's a one-stop shop.
That's right. That's right.
The education dream. I do get a lot of education from hanging out. Of course, it was before I had 11. Now I've kind of got my own multi-cat, although I still don't hold a candle
But
to you.
you have one cat that needs sub-Q, so I'm going to teach you how to do it.
Yes, my kismet. Yes, exactly. But I think the bottom line, it's doable, right, Kristen? I mean, have you ever tried to assimilate a cat, then it's just not ever going to happen. We're done.
Right.
I'll burrito wrap them, and I'll show you how to do that too.
Exactly. Just like you said, they chose us. Just have patience and just love them for who they are, and just feel great about the fact that you're providing them a loving, healthy home. And who knows where they'd be if they didn't have you.
See, that's so awesome.
That is perfect.
A lot of people, I think they're afraid. I hear them say, "Oh, I have one cat. I can't have another one because she won't accept." Well, yeah, she will.
Yeah.
It's just going to take some time and some patience.
Absolutely. We're actually in the process. I feel like I have to explain myself why I have one cat, because we've always had more than one cat.
It's okay.
We're in the process. We're in the process of moving again. We're moving to North Carolina, next year. So we're waiting till we get settled.
Oh, when you get down here, we have to meet. But anyway, that's a whole nother conversation.
I would love that.
Yes. Yeah. No, one cat is allowed. And she's got a dog.
There are some cats that
allowed.
prefer to be only. I mean, if you give one cat a home, that's one cat that didn't end up, living on the street or worse.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm from the shelter world too. I started my career working for the SPCA of Tampa Bay for 15 years.
Nice.
So I've fostered and adopted, and we've always had multiple cats in our home. So it is kind of strange to have one cat and one dog.
I've fostered two, but they didn't leave.
She failed.
They didn't leave.
They didn't leave. Honey, it's only fostering if you give them back.
Right.
Well,
you missed that point.
I fostered for Save a Life Rescue in LA, and Diana saw me coming, right?
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, can you just hold on to these kittens? Because the heat's not on yet, and I can't." And then the next week I'd be like, "Well, I don't want to give them back." And she's like, "Do you think I really want them back?" She saw me coming.
You didn't know.
It's
Which
okay.
is another good point, Kristen. If you are nervous about having another cat or having a cat, fostering, I think, is a really great idea.
Yes.
Foster to adopt. If it works out, you adopt. If it doesn't, you give them back, right?
Absolutely. It's a great way to learn about how, what cats' needs are, and to help a shelter or a rescue that needs a foster home.
And
it's a shorter term commitment, and they'll pay for it. Right. Exactly. And, especially if you have kids that are begging for a cat, right? This is a great test to see how it goes. And you haven't made a formal long-term commitment unless you choose to.
Right.
Yes.
I tell everybody the 19 and 11, don't try that. That's not for everyone.
Try this at home. No. No one intended to do. Neither of us ever went, I think 11's a good number. Oh, I think I'll go for 19. That does not happen. This does not happen.
No, but I refuse to go over 20. That's my limit.
Yes, we're trying.
Well, I
told her it would be nice if we could have 19 cats and counting combined. Like, can we just get...
Yeah.
Well, it's hard because every time
it doesn't sound like that's going to happen though anytime soon.
Yeah.
Every time I lose one, we get a phone call or the shelter calls me, and I've told them
one
no.
appears.
No.
So
Dexter just
cats
appeared.
ago. I don't know.
I think
Sunny
somebody
passed.
planted him then.
Right after
passed,
Sunny. She said, and she told everybody, which was so stupid. Watch what you say. I'm not taking another cat unless it appears at my door. So we're doing a behavior session. She looks out the patio door, and there's a cat on her deck.
Well, how did
his name is Dexter.
Dexter.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And the guy we were doing the behavior session with, he said, I see number 19.
Yeah, she's like, I'm sorry, I got it. Just to say, I'm really sorry. It's unprofessional. He's like, no, you're a cat person. Go. So then he and I are like, well, I think I see number 19 out on the porch.
Yeah,
right?
he disappeared for a week,
over.
and a week later showed up when I was on the phone with Linda, and he's here. He's a black cat, too, so I really didn't want to leave him outside.
No.
Yeah.
I
Oh my
wouldn't,
gosh.
not any cat should be left outside, but especially black cats. They really, people do awful things to black cats.
Yes.
He's gorgeous. In fact, he's
so-
right here sleeping. He was up here earlier.
Hey,
He
when you
likes to
ladies,
come up.
when you do start your 501c3, please let me know. I'd love to help
we
you
will.
spread the word.
We
will.
will, Kristen. We really appreciate
We have
that.
such
Thank
an
you. It's the
awesome
nicest thing you
lawyer.
could have-
She's doing it quid pro quo.
Wonderful. She's a cat person.
that's
So,
wonderful.
Somebody who needs a cat behavior session. She said, we just have to pay the filing fee. She said, I'll forego my fee if you do a behavior session.
If you do behavior session with my friends. So
That's so wonderful.
We have gone over. We could talk to Kristen
I
forever.
know, we have gone over.
Somebody bring me coffee.
And that's okay. Kristen, any last words you want to give to anyone who's thinking of bringing a new cat into their home?
Don't think twice. Just do it. And I love what we talked about a minute ago. Just foster. If you're not sure, just foster. But there are just so many wonderful, healthy cats and kittens that need homes.
Yes.
And, it will change your life for the better.
It will.
Definitely.
It absolutely
Yes.
Thank you, Kristen.
Definitely.
I so appreciate
Thank
you being
you
on
for
our
having
show.
me.
I want to have you on again.
Let's do it
Yes.
again.
We could have just done two shows here. And Linda, always my wonderful co-host. I can't thank you enough for becoming part of this crazy cat world.
Beyond my pleasure.
Mark Winter, the owner of Pet Life Radio. We just said, we have this podcast we started. How do we get it on your show, on your Pet Life Radio? And he said, I can do that. He just pulled us right over and took us under his wing. So thank you, Mark.
Good man.
He's awesome. He's awesome.
Until next time, everybody, just remember every day is Catterday, not just Saturday. Take care.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.